Welcome back to the Numis Hunter, the place where rare coins, unbelievable discoveries, and jaw-dropping numismatic secrets come alive. And today I'm bringing you one of the most astonishing and unbelievable stories in the entire world of coin collecting. A story that will make every collector, treasure hunter, and hobbyist around the world rethink the value of the humble penny in their pocket. Because today we are diving deep into the incredible, unbelievable, and shocking tale of the 1971 D1 cent coin that has reportedly reached a mind-blowing value of $89 million due to an extraordinary combination of minting errors, mechanical anomalies, hidden mistakes, and unexplained variations that have turned this simple bronze coin into one of the most sought-after and mythical treasures in modern numismatics. And, as always, I welcome you all with open arms to another exciting journey where we uncover the mysteries behind coins that look ordinary but possess extraordinary stories. So, sit tight and join me as we unravel the fascinating details behind what makes this particular 1971 D penny so unbelievably valuable. Starting with the origins of its production at the Denver Mint, where millions of pennies were struck. Yet among those countless pieces, a few coins are believed to have slipped through the mint machinery bearing errors that should never have existed. Errors so rare and so dramatic that they elevate the value of this coin to levels no one ever expected because, when it comes to error coins, rarity is everything. And the 1971 D cent is surrounded by layers of mystery involving striking pressure malfunctions, planchet composition inconsistencies, double die obverse possibilities, off-center strikes, broad-struck anomalies, ghosting impressions, die rotations, and even speculative transitional or experimental planchets that may have been mixed accidentally into the minting process during a year when multiple adjustments were reportedly happening behind the scenes. And this cocktail of errors is what drives collectors wild, pushing demand higher and higher as the possibility grows that an extremely small number of these flawed coins exist, possibly even just one surviving example. And when a coin becomes unique or nearly unique, its price skyrockets beyond imagination because collectors, investors, and museums all compete desperately to obtain it, each wanting to hold the only known piece of history. And that competition is exactly what fuels the legend of the 1971 D penny, believed to be worth up to $89 million. A coin surrounded by speculation, intense curiosity, and endless debate between experts who continue to argue about the origins of its rumored errors, yet all agree on one universal truth. If such a coin exists, it would be priceless in the world of numismatics. But let's explore the possible errors that contribute to this insane valuation, starting with one of the most discussed possibilities, which is a dramatic double. Die obverse, so extreme that Lincoln's profile, lettering, and date would appear heavily doubled to the naked eye, an error often valued highly in other coins. But in the case of 1971 D, this doubling would have had to be caused by a rare die misalignment during hubbing, something only known to occur a handful of times in history. And pairing that with the Denver Mint's high-speed production environment in 1971 increases the chance of unusual mechanical failure, meaning a die in the process of being replaced might have shifted just enough for an extreme doubling to occur, but only for a moment before being corrected, leaving only a small handful of coins struck in that brief mechanical anomaly. Another possibility being a wrong planchet strike, where a leftover foreign or transitional metal blank accidentally entered the cent press, potentially creating a heavier, lighter, or off-color penny with a metallic composition that does not match standard 1971 specifications. And this type of error is among the rarest in minting history because it requires multiple unusual events to happen simultaneously. A stray planchet entering the wrong striking chamber, the press accepting it rather than rejecting it, and the coin escaping quality control unnoticed. And if such a coin exists for 1971 D, especially if struck on a leftover experimental or discontinued planchet. It could command astronomical prices at auction, pushing the story of the $89 million valuation even further. But the possibilities don't end there, because off-center strikes are another category that collectors chase, and a dramatically off-center 1971 penny with the full date visible could reach unbelievable value if it also includes a second major error, such as a clipped planchet, a broad strike, or a die crack forming a unique pattern across the coin. And sometimes it's not just one error, but a combination of multiple errors stacked together that makes a coin truly one of a kind. And when a coin has multiple overlapping mistakes, such as a double strike where the coin is struck once normally and then again slightly misaligned, creating a ghost-like second image, those coins can fetch tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands, depending on rarity. But if a 1971 penny experienced an extreme multi-strike combined with a wrong planchet, combined with off-center alignment, combined with a dramatic double die, then we're looking at a level of rarity so staggering that collectors would be willing to pay tens of millions to secure it, especially if it is the only known example. And this is where the legend of the $89 million valuation grows, fueled by the belief that somewhere in a private collection, a vault, or even a forgotten box of coins in an attic lies a 1971 penny with an impossible combination of errors so perfect and so dramatic that it becomes the crown jewel of American minting anomalies. And beyond the mechanical aspects, experts also speculate about die polishing errors, creating missing details, design distortions, thinning or thickening of the lettering, and even subtle distortions in Lincoln's portrait caused by rush die maintenance, which was more common in the early 1970s due to machine wear from high production demands. And such distortions, when extreme enough, can increase a coin's desirability, especially if the error creates an unusual appearance that catches collectors' attention. And while the majority of 1971 pennies are worth only face value, the fascination with the potential existence of a major minting blunder keeps collectors searching bags, rolls, and old collections, hoping to uncover this mythical treasure. Because in coin collecting, hope and curiosity drive the hunt, and every collector dreams of holding a coin so rare that it becomes famous worldwide. And that dream is exactly what keeps the story of the $89 million 1971 penny alive, making it a symbol of numismatic mystery, a story of what might exist, what could be discovered, and what treasures still lie hidden waiting for the right collector to recognize them. And here on the Numis Hunter, we continue to dive deep into these incredible stories to inspire your search, fuel your curiosity, and motivate you to check every coin carefully, because you never know when a simple penny could turn into a life-changing fortune. And whether this particular 1971 cent is sitting in someone's safe or still hidden in circulation, one thing is certain: the thrill of the hunt continues, and the world of rare coins will never stop surprising us with unbelievable discoveries that push the boundaries of what we believe is possible. So keep searching, keep collecting, and keep your eyes open for the next legendary coin that could be hiding right in plain sight. And thank you once again for joining the Numis Hunter on this incredible deep dive into the mysteries of the 1971 penny and its unbelievable journey to a rumored value of $89 million. Next, 1975 1-cent coin that has gained legendary status due to extraordinary errors, mysterious minting mistakes, and rare anomalies that have pushed its rumored value to an astonishing $55 million, a number so outrageous and so shocking that it instantly captures the imagination of collectors around the world. And as always, I welcome you all with great excitement to this incredible journey into numismatic mysteries, where we uncover hidden truths, explore strange minting events, and reveal how everyday coins can turn into priceless treasures. So prepare yourself as we take a deep dive into everything that could possibly make the 1975 D penny worth such a massive amount of money. Starting with the fact that millions of cents were struck at the Denver Mint in 1975, yet among that massive production, it is believed that extremely rare minting errors slipped through unnoticed. Errors so unusual, so dramatic, and so visually shocking that coin experts and collectors believe that if even one of these pieces survived, it would be considered one of the most valuable and unique error coins in United States history. And what drives this insane valuation is the rare combination of potential mistakes that may have occurred during that year, including extreme double dies, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, die cracks forming dramatic patterns, broad-struck errors, clip planchets, wrong metal planchets, multiple strikes, rotated dies, and even speculative transitional planchets that might have resulted from leftover experimental metal being accidentally fed into the presses. And when you combine all these possibilities, the excitement among collectors continues to grow because any one of these errors alone could make a coin valuable. But a combination of multiple errors could turn a simple 1-cent piece into a multi-million-dollar treasure. And that is exactly what fuels the legend of the $55 million 1975 D cent, a coin surrounded by mystery, rumors, and the irresistible idea that somewhere, possibly in a private collection or even in someone's forgotten change jar, lies a penny so rare and so unique that its value reaches unimaginable levels. And to understand why this specific coin has become the subject of so much attention, we need to explore the kind of errors that collectors dream of discovering, starting with one of the most frequently discussed possibilities, the existence of an extreme double die obverse where the date, lettering, and Lincoln's portrait appear doubled in a dramatic way that can be seen clearly without magnification, a type of error that in other years has created some of the most valuable pennies ever sold. And if a 1975 D version of such a dramatic double die exists, especially one that escaped detection during Denver Mint's quality control process, it could easily attract massive attention from collectors and potentially push its price into the tens of millions. But the story doesn't stop there because another highly valuable possibility comes from a wrong planchet strike, which occurs when a coin is accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination or even another country. And during the mid-1970s, the Mint was producing multiple coin types and occasionally dealing with leftover foreign blanks. So the rare chance of a 1-cent design being struck on a dime planchet, a foreign planchet, a thicker bronze blank, or even an experimental composition cannot be entirely ruled out. And when a wrong planchet strike combines with other errors, such as off-center alignment or double striking, the value can multiply dramatically because collectors know such coins are often unique or extremely limited. And if even one such 1975 D penny exists with multiple layers of mistakes stacked together, it could easily command a price reaching or exceeding $55 million due to its one-of-a-kind rarity. Another category of errors that collectors closely examine is off-center strikes where the coin's design is shifted dramatically to one side. And extreme off-center strikes with the date still showing are extremely valuable. But imagine a 1975 D penny that not only has an extreme off-center strike, but also features a clip planchet or an incomplete rim, combined with a rotated die, and perhaps even a second strike ghosting over the first one. And suddenly you have a coin that becomes an unmatched, minting anomaly, the kind of error that numismatic experts might only see once in an entire generation. And these are the types of combinations that fuel the belief that a 1975 D penny could indeed reach astronomical values if discovered. But beyond mechanical striking mistakes, there is also the possibility of dramatic die cracks and severe die breaks forming raised lines or even full cuts across the coin, creating unique shapes that collectors love. And if one of these cracks occurred in a way that produced a pattern resembling a recognizable symbol, shape, or even a dramatic visual effect, it could instantly become a coin of incredible interest. And when these dramatic die cracks appear on early state or mid-state examples combined with other major errors, their value increases even more, pushing the limits of what collectors are willing to pay. And the speculation continues with the idea of transitional errors. Although officially the 1975 cent was produced with the standard bronze composition, the possibility of leftover, adjusted, or experimental blanks being accidentally mixed in during transitional periods of the mint is something coin experts never fully dismiss. Because history has repeatedly shown that the mint occasionally made quiet changes, adjustments, or metal tests that later created some of the rarest coins ever found. And if by some incredible chance a 1975 D penny was struck on a metal blank that differs in weight, thickness, or appearance from the standard bronze composition, collectors would immediately view it as a historical anomaly with skyrocketing value, especially if paired with any other major striking error. And this is how the legend of the $55 million 1975 D penny keeps growing, not because one has been definitively confirmed, but because the combination of potential mistakes that could have occurred during that year's minting process creates endless possibilities that excite collectors, motivate treasure hunters, and inspire thousands of people to search their coin jars, old boxes, inherited collections, or even their pocket change, just in case they happen to be the lucky one to uncover a piece of numismatic history worth tens of millions. And what makes this story even more thrilling is the fact that error coins often go unnoticed for decades, only to be discovered accidentally by someone casually looking through their coins, which means that anyone, absolutely anyone, could be the person who finds the mythical 1975 D error penny that becomes the next $1 million headline. And this sense of possibility, this thrill of what if, is what keeps collectors passionately searching every single day. And here at the Numis Hunter, we are dedicated to fueling that excitement, educating you about the rare errors that can transform ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures, and reminding you that the world of numismatics is full of surprises waiting to be discovered. And whether it's a multiple strike anomaly, a dramatic off-center error, a wrong planchet miracle, a double die masterpiece, or an unimaginable combination of all these errors at once, the idea that a 1975 D penny could reach a rumored value of $55 million reflects the magic that keeps this hobby alive and thriving. Because coins are more than metal, they are pieces of history, mystery, and unexpected value. And as long as even the slightest chance exists that a rare error like this is still out there waiting to be found, collectors will keep searching, dreaming, and hunting for that one life-changing coin. And thank you for joining me once again on this exciting deep dive into the world of rare coins. And remember to keep looking closely at your pennies, your rolls, your old collections, and everything hidden away in drawers or boxes, because you never know what extraordinary treasure is waiting for you. And until next time, keep the passion alive. Keep exploring and stay tuned to the Numis Hunter for more unbelievable coin stories that could change your life forever. Next, 1976 1-cent coin, a coin that under normal circumstances would be worth just a fraction of a dollar. Yet rumors, expert discussions, and numismatic speculation have elevated certain rare error examples of this year to an astounding and jaw-dropping value of $34 million. And as extraordinary as this may sound, the combination of rare minting mistakes, mechanical anomalies, unusual production circumstances, and potential one-of-a-kind errors make the 1976 penny one of the most talked about coins among collectors searching for hidden treasures. So settle in, because today we're going to explore every detail of what could possibly make a small copper coin from 1976 worth more than most luxury homes, supercars, or even private islands. And as always, I welcome you all to another thrilling episode where we explore coins that appear ordinary but hold extraordinary secrets, where history, Chance and mechanical accidents at the mint combine to create treasures that defy imagination. And the story of the 1976 1-cent coin begins at the United States Mint during a time when billions of pennies were being produced. Yet among this enormous production run, the possibility of rare, dramatic, and extremely valuable errors slipping through the machinery becomes very real, because anytime millions of coins are struck, the chances of something unusual happening increase dramatically. And in the case of 1976, a year of bicentennial celebration and increased mint activity, collectors believe several unique error pennies may have been created by accident and never caught by quality control, potentially surviving in circulation for decades before being discovered. And it is these extremely rare mistakes that fuel the belief that certain 1976 pennies could reach valuations far beyond anything expected, especially if the coin contains multiple overlapping errors that make it visually shocking, historically fascinating, and numismatically irreplaceable. And when we talk about errors that could push the value of a coin to $34 million, we're talking about the rarest of the rare. Double dies with extreme doubling visible to the naked eye, off-center strikes so dramatic that half the design is missing while still showing the date, multi-strike errors where the coin was struck 2 or 3 times in different positions creating ghost images, wrong planchet strikes where the penny was mistakenly struck on a blank mint for a dime, a foreign coin or an experimental test metal, dramatically rotated dies causing misaligned designs, clipped planchets with major missing sections, broad-struck coins with no proper rim, die cracks forming unusual shapes, cuds obliterating parts of the design, and even the rare chance of transitional or experimental planchets being fed into the machines. And the reason these possibilities matter is because any one of them can make a coin valuable. But when 2, 3, or 4 of these errors appear together on the same coin, the value skyrockets into the stratosphere, especially if only one known example exists. And that is exactly what collectors believe might have happened with certain extremely rare 1976 cents. Because this was a year when the mint was at peak production and dealing with heavy workloads, making it more likely that machinery malfunctioned, dies wore out faster, quality control was overwhelmed, and unusual pieces slipped through unnoticed. And among the most fascinating possibilities for this year is the idea of a dramatic double die obverse where the date, lettering, and Lincoln's portrait appear doubled in a way that is unmistakable, bold, and visually stunning. The kind of error that can turn an ordinary cent into a legendary rarity. And though documented double dies for 1976 are not common, the idea that an extreme, one-of-a-kind double die could have been created during a brief moment of misalignment during the hubbing process is something collectors and experts love to speculate about, especially since dramatic double dies in other years have sold for huge amounts at auction. But the story becomes even more interesting when we consider the rare possibility of wrong planchet strikes, which occur when a coin is accidentally struck on a blank intended for a different denomination or even for a coin from another country. And during the mid-1970s, the mint was actively striking coins not only for the United States, but also for various foreign governments, meaning foreign planchets were present inside the mint, increasing the chance that a 1-cent design could have been struck on a blank of a completely different metal composition, color, weight, or size. And if such a mistake occurred in 1976 and survived, the result would be a unique and priceless error that collectors would fight over, driving its value to unimaginable heights. And let's not forget about off-center strikes, one of the most visually dramatic and easily recognizable. Errors where the design is shifted to one side, and when the off-center shift is extreme but the date remains visible, the coin becomes significantly more valuable. But if that same coin also features a second error, such as a clipped planchet or rotated die, or even a second strike offset from the first, then the rarity increases exponentially. And coins with multiple overlapping dramatic errors can attract interest from collectors worldwide, turning them into multi-million dollar treasures. And another extremely rare but highly valued category involves major die breaks, or cuds, where parts of the die break off and leave large raised blobs of metal on the coin, creating unique visual patterns. And if a 1976 cent developed a dramatic die break that covered part of Lincoln's portrait or the lettering, combined with any other striking anomaly, it could easily become a prize unlike anything else known from a year. And then we consider transitional or experimental planchet errors, which occur when leftover blanks from a different composition are mistakenly used in another year. And while the official composition of the 1976 cent was bronze, the mint has been known throughout history to experiment quietly with different metals, weights, and compositions, sometimes creating rare test pieces that were never meant to be released. But occasionally one or two of these planchets accidentally entered the production line and were struck into circulation coins. And if something like that occurred with a 1976 penny, especially paired with a dramatic striking error, the result could be one of the most valuable coins ever discovered, explaining the rumors of a $34 million valuation. And what makes this story even more captivating is the fact that incredibly valuable error coins are often found by complete accident, discovered by someone casually searching through their pocket change, their old childhood coin jar, or a relative's forgotten collection. And this unpredictability is exactly what fuels the excitement, hope, and passion of coin collectors around the world, because the possibility that a rare 1976 error cent worth tens of millions might still be hidden somewhere is enough to inspire thousands of people to start checking their coins more carefully, searching for anything unusual, anything strange, anything that might be the clue to a life-changing discovery. And the legend of the multi-million-dollar 1976 penny continues to grow because no one knows exactly how many rare errors from that year exist, how many survived, how many were overlooked, or how many might still be waiting to be discovered by someone who happens to look closely enough. And that is the magic of numismatics, the feeling that a simple, ordinary coin can turn into a monumental treasure, the sense that history and chance can collide in your hands, and the fact that the smallest details, a double digit, a missing section of the rim, a misaligned strike, are wrong. Metal composition can turn a 1 cent piece into something priceless. And that's why collectors remain fascinated, hopeful, and energized by the mystery of the 1976 cent and its rumored $34 million value. And that is why the Numis Hunter continues to bring you these stories, these deep dives, and these numismatic adventures, so you can stay inspired, informed, and ready to spot the next great coin that might change your life forever. So keep searching your coins, keep exploring every detail. Next, 1985 1 cent coin, a coin that normally holds just a tiny fraction of a dollar in value. Yet through the lens of rare errors, unimaginable minting mistakes, and one-of-a-kind anomalies, certain extraordinary examples of this coin have become the subject of incredible speculation, with some collectors believing that an extremely rare and dramatic error version of the 1985 cent could command a value as high as $22 million, and whether such a treasure has already been discovered or still lies hidden somewhere in a forgotten jar, old collection, or dusty box in someone's attic. The possibility alone is enough to ignite the imagination and passion of every collector. So settle in, because today we are about to explore the full story behind this astonishing coin, the errors that could make it worth a life-changing fortune, the mechanical mistakes that could have occurred at the mint, and the fascinating reasons why collectors around the world continue to chase the dream of finding a 1985 penny worth more than a luxury mansion, exotic supercar, or gold-filled vault. And what makes this tale so incredible is that 1985 was a massive production year for the U.S. Mint, a time when billions of pennies were being struck at high speed using dies that underwent tremendous pressure and machinery that had to run continuously. And any time such huge numbers of coins are produced under heavy workloads, the chances of rare, dramatic, and visually shocking mint errors increase significantly. And it is these rare errors, those extremely unusual and nearly impossible anomalies, that drive the rumor, speculation, and excitement behind the idea of a 1985 cent reaching a value of $22 million, because error coins are not just mistakes. They are pieces of history frozen in metal, accidents preserved forever, in moments when the minting process slipped in a way that created something unique. And when only one such coin exists, collectors will pay almost anything to own it. And when we break down the possibilities of what kinds of errors could make a 1985 penny so overwhelmingly valuable, the list becomes both fascinating and exciting, starting with one of the most legendary and sought-after types of mint errors, the dramatic double die obverse, where Lincoln's portrait, the date, and the lettering appear doubled in a way that the human eye can instantly recognize without magnification, a type of error known from other famous cents but extremely rare for the mid-1980s. And if a 1985 penny with such extreme doubling exists, especially if the doubling is bold, crisp, dramatic, and unmistakable, then that alone could propel the coin into the hundreds of thousands or even millions depending on its uniqueness. But what skyrockets the value into the realm of 22 million is the idea of a double die combined with a second or even third error, such as a major off-center strike where the design is shifted heavily to one side while still keeping the date visible, or a dramatic second strike where the coin was struck twice in different positions, creating a ghosted, overlapping effect that collectors love due to its visual impact. And coins that have multiple striking errors are extremely rare because the minting process usually rejects them, destroys them, or prevents them from escaping quality control. Which means that if even one such coin escaped unnoticed in 1985, it could be one of the rarest error coins in American numismatic history. And another possibility that collectors frequently discuss is the existence of wrong planchet errors, meaning a penny accidentally struck on a metal blank mint for a different denomination. And during the 1980s, the mint was producing various coin types, including cents, nickels, dimes, and foreign coins for other countries. So, a stray foreign planchet, dime planchet, or leftover experimental blank could have been struck accidentally with the 1 cent design, creating a coin with unusual weight, thickness, color, or sound. And these wrong planchet errors are among the most valuable in the numismatic world because they often result in unique, one-of-a-kind coins that collectors will pay enormous amounts to own. And if such a wrong planchet 1985 cent happened to also include a dramatic minting error like a double strike or a major off-center strike, the value would multiply exponentially, pushing it far beyond the $1 million mark and into the realm of extreme rarity where only the wealthiest collectors or institutions could compete for it. And we also cannot ignore the possibility of severe die cracks, cuds, and die breaks, which occur when the die itself begins to break apart due to overuse, metal fatigue, or misalignment, causing thick raised lines, blobs of metal, or missing portions of the design to appear on a struck coin, and dramatic die cracks that create unusual shapes. Patterns or symbols can become highly valuable, especially if they appear on a coin from a year not known for such errors. And when these die breaks combine with other types of striking mistakes, such as broad strikes where the coin is flattened without a proper rim, or clipped planchets where part of the metal blank is missing, the result is a visually unique coin with massive collector appeal. And since 1985 pennies were struck in huge quantities with zinc cores coated in copper, they were especially vulnerable to die deterioration, plating issues, bonding errors, and planchet flaws, creating even more opportunities for unique anomalies to occur. And one of the most intriguing possibilities involves major plating errors, where the thin copper coating on a zinc planchet failed to bond correctly during production, causing patches of exposed gray zinc to show or creating bubbles, cracks, or peeling areas across the surface. And though minor plating errors are common, extreme ones, such as complete missing plating on one or both sides or massive split, plating resulting in unusual shapes, are far rarer and can instantly increase a coin's desirability and value. And if such a dramatic plating error were combined with a major strike anomaly, the coin could easily become one of the most unique examples known from 1985, fueling the speculation behind the $22 million legend. And another rare but possible error involves off-metal transitional planchets, which occur when leftover blanks from a previous or experimental composition are mistakenly used for a later year. And although 1985 was not an official transitional year, collectors know that the mint sometimes experimented quietly with different metals behind the scenes, and history shows that experimental blanks occasionally slipped into circulation, creating coins that later sold for massive amounts when discovered. And this tiny chance is enough to fuel the belief that a unique off-metal 1985 penny may exist somewhere, unnoticed for decades, waiting to be found. And the most exciting part of all this is the fact that rare error coins often remain hidden for years or even generations before being discovered by accident, sometimes found by someone casually searching through a jar of coins, a roll of pennies from the bank, or a family collection inherited from a relative who never knew they possessed a treasure worth millions. And that sense of possibility, that feeling that anyone, absolutely anyone, could stumble upon a life-changing find, is what keeps collectors searching tirelessly for rare 1985 error cents. Because even though billions were minted, the unique and dramatic errors that collectors dream about may only exist in quantities as small as 1, 2, or 3 examples, making them priceless in the world of numismatics. And it is this combination of mystery, rarity, speculation, and the exhilarating thrill of the unknown that keeps the legend of the $22 million 1985 penny alive. And that is why collectors all over the world continue to check their coins carefully, examining every detail, studying every anomaly, and hoping that one day they will be the one who uncovers the next legendary error coin. And here at the Numis Hunter, we continue to tell these incredible stories not just to educate, but to inspire you to keep searching, because the world of rare coins is full of hidden treasures waiting to be found. And the next great discovery could be sitting in your hand right now without you even realizing it. So, thank you for joining me on this deep exploration into the world of 1985 pennies. Next, 2007 D 1-cent coin. A coin that in an ordinary world is worth just a penny, but in extraordinary circumstances becomes a mind-blowing multi-million-dollar treasure valued at a staggering $15 million. Because of the rare errors, minting anomalies, mechanical mishaps, and freak accidents that can turn this tiny copper-plated zinc cent into something collectors around the world would fight to own. And as we walk through the countless possibilities, hidden secrets, and unusual details that could elevate a modern penny to such legendary status, we'll uncover how even coins from the 2000s, coins many people believe are too new to hold any real value, can in fact become some of the most astonishing jackpot coins in numismatic history. The 2070 Lincoln Cent comes from the Denver Mint, known for high-speed production and massive coin output. And whenever millions upon millions of coins are minted under tight scheduling and intense pressure, the chances of something going wrong, something tiny, unexpected, and extremely rare, increase dramatically. And these unexpected errors are the fuel behind every multi-million-dollar coin story. Because collectors aren't just paying for the metal, they're paying for rarity, mystery, and the unrepeatable nature of minting accidents that no machine can replicate twice. When we talk about a 2007 cent becoming a $15 million prize, we're talking about the rarest of the rare. Errors like extreme off-center strikes where the coin may be missing nearly half its design, yet still showing a clean date and mint mark, or double-struck coins that may reveal two overlapping images of Lincoln's bust or multiple outlines of the word liberty, which fascinate collectors who chase the sharpness, boldness, and uniqueness of these strange strike layers. A penny could also show dramatic die cracks, those jagged lines that split through the design like lightning bolts caused by stressed or failing dies during heavy production. And collectors love when these cracks form shapes that resemble familiar objects or patterns because such visual anomalies make the coin even more desirable. There are also possibilities of die clashes, a type of error created when the obverse and reverse dies hit each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost-like images of the reverse on the front or the front on the back, making the coin look like it carries secret hidden illustrations beneath Lincoln's portrait. And this type of error is so visually striking that collectors often pay enormous premiums for clean, dramatic, high-grade examples. But the journey doesn't stop with the classic minting errors. Sometimes planchet mistakes dramatically raise the value of coins like the 2007 cent. And for a coin to reach the unimaginable level of $15 million, it would almost certainly need a planchet error so rare that experts might only see one in a lifetime. Imagine a 2007 penny struck on a foreign planchet, such as a dime planchet or a planchet mint for a different country's coin, which would give it a lighter weight, a different metallic color, and unusual dimensions, instantly making it a 1 in millions rarity. Or consider a cent struck on an unplated zinc planchet, making the coin appear silver-colored like a steel penny from 1943, a shocking sight that would confuse anyone who didn't know about minting errors. Another possibility is a broad strike error, where the collar fails to hold the planchet during striking, causing the coin to expand outward into a wider, flatter, smooth-edged disc. And when a modern cent experiences this kind of dramatic misstrike, especially one with perfect date visibility, it becomes a valuable curiosity. Equally mesmerizing are rotated die errors, where the front and back designs don't align as they should. Even a small rotation is desirable, but a full 90-degree or even 180-degree rotation is so rare that collectors go wild over it, often paying eye-watering amounts. Now imagine a 2007 cent that exhibits not just one of these errors, but multiple errors simultaneously, double struck and off-center, struck on a wrong planchet, and with a dramatic die crack running through Lincoln's forehead. This combination of errors is the kind of miracle that can push a coin into the realm of multi-million-dollar auction sales because what collectors crave most is uniqueness. And when a coin is absolutely one of a kind, it becomes a chase piece, a trophy of the highest order. For a penny like this to reach $15 million, it might also hold historical significance or have a legendary discovery story tied to it, such as being found during a mint tour, inside a sealed mint bag decades later, or in a bankroll that sat untouched in someone's drawer for years. Collectors love stories, and they pay a premium for coins that come with mystery, pedigree, and proven authentication by the most respected grading services like PCGS or NGC. A perfect storm of rarity and narrative adds immeasurable value, especially when combined with a flawless or near-flawless grade that suggests the coin escaped handling, circulation, and wear, which is incredibly rare because coins with major errors often get rejected, damaged, or destroyed early in the minting process. To imagine a 2007 penny worth $15 million is to imagine the rarest errors converging into a single coin. Something like a legendary mule error where the obverse of a cent is mistakenly paired with the reverse of a different denomination, which should be impossible, but has happened before in other years. And when such errors slip through quality control, they become some of the most astonishing finds in coin collecting. You could also have a dramatic off-metal strike where the cent was accidentally struck on a thick planchet, creating a heavier, thicker coin that feels completely wrong in the hand, or a thin planchet error where the coin appears ghost-like and weakly struck. Minting machinery failure can also create wild anomalies, such as struck-through errors where foreign materials like grease, fabric, wire, or metal shards were accidentally pressed into the coin, leaving strange impressions, missing details, or unusual textures that no ordinary cent would ever show. The 2070 penny may also carry rare design anomalies caused by misaligned dies that create a doubling effect on the lettering or Lincoln's features. And while machine doubling is common and not valuable, true hub doubling is extremely rare and could instantly elevate the coin into multi-million-dollar territory, especially if sharp, dramatic, and easily visible with the naked eye. Even the coin's final appearance, color, luster, and strike quality plays a huge role because collectors pay huge amounts for coins that look like they just left the press, with radiant surfaces and no scratches. And this is extremely difficult for zinc-based cents because they corrode, spot, and darken very easily. So a 2007 D cent surviving in pristine condition with a major error is already a statistical impossibility, which makes its theoretical value soar. The Denver Mint's massive production pace in 2007 also means there were countless opportunities for unnoticed anomalies to occur, but the survival rate for dramatic errors is tiny, making the hunt for these coins one of the most exciting treasure hunts in American numismatics. Combine this rarity with worldwide collector competition, and you get the formula for why a single cent could skyrocket to values like $15 million. Uniqueness, desirability, error complexity, historical intrigue, immaculate surface preservation, and the intense demand from wealthy collectors who want to own something no one else on Earth can claim. And that is the thrill of coin collecting. Anything is possible. Any pocket change can hide a fortune. Any rolled-up penny could secretly be worth more than luxury cars, homes, or gold bars. That is the magic behind the story of the 2007 D penny worth big money. And it is why you should always check your change carefully, because hidden treasures do not announce themselves, and sometimes the most ordinary-looking penny contains an extraordinary story waiting to be discovered only by those who know what to look for. And here at the Numis Hunter, we make sure you never miss a chance at stumbling upon your own once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. Last, 2000 D1 cent coin that, under the right conditions, has the potential to be worth a staggering $8 million due to the rare errors, minting mistakes, freak anomalies, and extraordinary 1 in a billion mechanical mishaps that can transform a simple penny into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece unlike anything you would expect from such a recent year. And as we explore the world of minting errors and examine how a coin from the year 2000, a year known for high-speed automated production, could possibly soar to such incredible value, you'll see exactly why collectors around the world hunt these rare gems with so much passion, determination, and excitement. The 2000 D Lincoln cent comes from the Denver Mint, a facility that produces billions of coins annually, and with such massive output, the machinery works under intense pressure, and whenever machines operate at such speed and scale, tiny malfunctions, die failures, alignment problems, and planchet issues can occur. And these mistakes, when rare enough, become the golden ticket for collectors who crave the impossible, the bizarre, and the unrepeatable errors that make a coin priceless. One of the biggest factors that could push a 2000 D cent to an $8 million valuation would be a spectacular strike error, such as an off-center strike so extreme that a significant portion of the design is missing yet the date and mint mark remain perfectly visible, because collectors love errors that are dramatic and visually shocking while still showing essential identifying details. A coin might also have been double struck, whether in the same orientation or flipped between strikes, creating overlapping portraits of Lincoln, doubled outlines of lettering, distorted shapes of the memorial building, or circular rings from the multiple pressure waves during the strike. Such dramatic multi-strike errors, especially if perfectly preserved, are intensely desirable to serious collectors. Another astonishing possibility is a broad strike error, which happens when the collar fails to hold the planchet and the coin spreads outward like a flattened disc, wider and smoother than a normal cent, causing it to look more like a unique mint-created medallion than a circulating coin. Or imagine a 2000D penny with a rare die cap error, where the coin sticks to the die after striking and continues stamping onto other planchets, creating a cup-shaped or bottle cap-shaped coin with stretched metal and ghost-like impressions layered deep into its surface, an error so dramatic and unusual that collectors often pay extraordinary amounts to obtain one. But the wonder doesn't stop at strike errors. Some of the most valuable 2000D cents could come from rare planchet mistakes, such as a coin struck on a foreign planchet, which may have a different weight, thickness, and color, and because the U.S. Mint occasionally mints coins for other countries or experiments with different metals, rare mix-ups can occur. If a 2000D cent was struck on a copper planchet instead of the usual copper-plated zinc, or even more shockingly on a dime or nickel planchet, its rarity would skyrocket instantly. A cent struck on an unplated zinc planchet, giving it a silver appearance instead of the usual copper color, would also be a dream find for collectors who treasure visually unexpected anomalies. Even more astonishing would be a saddle strike or a bonded pair error, where two planchets stick together and go through the striking process as one, producing an unbelievable, layered, warped coin that no machine is intended to create, and the rarity of such events is so extreme that they often become centerpiece items in elite collections. When considering an $8 million valuation, one of the most dramatic possibilities involves die errors, especially double dies created during the hubbing process, where the die itself receives a doubled impression and transfers that doubling to every coin it strikes. True double dies, not machine doubling, are extremely rare in modern coins, and a 2000D cent with a bold doubled Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or date would become a standout rarity, instantly famous among collectors and potentially worth a jaw-dropping amount if preserved in pristine condition. Die cracks, cuds, and die breaks can also create collectible errors, especially large cuds that look like missing chunks of metal around the rim of the coin, giving it a rugged, dramatic appearance that collectors adore. Another astonishing error is a die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, imprinting faint outlines of the memorial building onto Lincoln's portrait or parts of Lincoln's silhouette onto the reverse, creating an eerie, ghost-like effect that adds tremendous value when clearly visible. There are also alignment and design anomalies, such as rotated die errors, where the obverse and reverse designs don't align correctly, and even small degrees of rotation are desirable, while extreme rotations of 90 or 180 degrees create incredible value because they indicate a major minting malfunction. Combine that with a coin preserved in near-perfect condition, something incredibly hard for zinc-based cents, which corrode, spot, and discolor easily, and you have a near-impossible combination that drives collectors into competitive bidding wars. But the possibility that could push a 2000D penny into the multi-million-dollar realm is the legendary mule error, where the obverse die of one coin denomination is accidentally paired with the reverse die of another. These errors are so rare that they often become world-famous overnight. And if a 2000D cent were struck with the reverse of a different denomination, it would become one of the most astonishing mint mistakes ever discovered. Struck-through errors also add dramatic character, especially if the coin was struck through wire, fabric, metal shards, or mint grease, causing missing details, strange textures, or unusual shapes embedded into the design. These errors make each coin a one-of-a-kind piece of minting art. It's also possible that a coin could have been part of a mechanical failure event in the mint, where multiple errors occur on the same coin. A double strike combined with an off-center strike, or a broad strike combined with a die clash. And coins with multiple severe errors command enormous premiums because their exact combination is impossible to replicate. The story behind the discovery of such a coin also adds to its desirability. Perhaps it was found in a sealed mint bag, overlooked for years, or it might have surfaced from forgotten roll in someone's basement, or even discovered by a collector searching through thousands of pennies. The narrative behind a coin's survival increases its value because collectors love items with mystery, pedigree, and historical significance. Rarity is the king of coin values. And when a coin from a high mintage year, like 2000, becomes rare due to an extreme, dramatic error, it instantly becomes a legendary piece, something serious collectors pursue with passion, often paying unimaginable prices for the privilege of adding it to their collections. The Denver Mint's massive production levels and fast-paced machinery in the year 2000 created the perfect environment for unique accident coins to slip through unnoticed, and while most errors are small, subtle, or destroyed before leaving the mint, the rare few that survive become the superstars of numismatics. And that's why the 2000 penny could reach values like $8 million. Because when an error is so dramatic, so visually striking, so impossible to duplicate, and so historically intriguing, it becomes the ultimate treasure, something sought after not for its metal content, but for its rarity, uniqueness, and the magic of the unexpected. So keep checking your coins carefully, because you never know when a modern penny could hide a life-changing secret. And here at the Numis Hunter, we make sure you never miss the chance to uncover your own multimillion-dollar jackpot hiding in plain sight.